Welcome back to CryptosRUs. I am George. We're all George. So, welcome to another Market Open stream. Today, we got another exciting day of Bitcoin and crypto, of course. Today's main topic is the global Bitcoin race is on. So, what does that mean exactly? Well, I think you guys know, but I'll explain further. This massive crypto buying, let's talk about that as well. Who's buying specifically? And you will be surprised what they're buying is too. And some other news I got to cover. All right, let's do it, guys. Let's do it. Welcome. We are starting out the day 98.7, a little bit lower than 100,000. But we're creeping up. Today, I noticed that, hey, good old Ethereum is up 3%. You got Injective, ADA, and Hedera up 3%. We got some movers today, mostly in the green. So today, we could definitely see a move back up to $100,000 once again. We had a little shakeout yesterday, once again, because of that really bad press conference that should have never been held. But we are going to move on. Looking at the US market, we are opening up a little bit red for NASDAQ, and that's because of this company, Alphabet, aka Google. They missed out on their revenue. They invested more in AI, and now, everyone's fearful about tech. So the NASDAQ is down a little bit. Let's see, MicroStrategy down slightly. Exodus up, Robinhood down slightly. Coinbase is up, Nvidia's up. So, kind of mixed. It could flip around, certainly, very quickly. We also, in the US, have a payrolls number that came in a little bit better than expected, but tomorrow's the big, Thursday, Friday. Friday is the big unemployment and jobs number that's even more important than this one. That's the one I think a lot of people will be looking at, so we'll see how that goes. Okay. But outside of these, what else is there? The SEC, they're scaling back their anti-crypto unit. That's good. I talked about the new task force led by Hester Pierce. This is a new task force that's trying to come up with a new framework, how to categorize crypto and how to fairly govern the different types of crypto out there, because there are different types. Obviously, meme coins are different than Bitcoin. And staking is different than mining. There's a lot of things that they need to categorize. So while they're doing that, they're scaling back their lawsuits, their litigations, and their anti-crypto unit. So this is good. So we have this grace period right now where you can just do whatever the hell you want. I'm just kidding about that. They are still paying attention, but it's good. Again, this is part of what is going to make this year great. Less American-based projects will be fearful, because in the past, everyone is fearful about getting slapped with the Wells notice from the SEC, afraid that they're going to be sued. But this year, no longer. Unless you're really doing something wrong. But if you're a legit company, like Uniswap or Coinbase, you don't have to worry anymore. So that's good. Bitcoin ETF inflow started up again. On the 3rd, we had an outflow day, and then yesterday we had a massive inflow day that made up for it. So overall, I've been saying this, anyone that panic sells ends up buying back at a higher price. This goes for Wall Street too. I know most of you guys do not fall for the FUD, But maybe some of you guys do. Do not fall for it. Whenever things look bad and you're like, I gotta get out. Well, if you're playing with leverage and you need to get out, you need to get out. But if you're just a long-term holder, there is no point, because we will just recover and flip right back up. Okay, and anyone that panic sells, they're going to regret it and they're going to buy back at a higher price. It always happens. Even Wall Street, the people that sold their ETFs, now they have to buy back at a higher price. Why? Just a day later. Like, why? Why did you need to do that? You know, sir, it makes no sense whatsoever. But certainly there are a lot of people that don't do that. They continue to DCA. And when I say people, I mean countries and companies. So, you know, this global race, we know that America and this Bitcoin strategic reserve, that's coming. 200,000 Bitcoin per year for the next 5 years. That will be 5% of our overall supply, right? That's going to be huge. That's going to kick off sometime this year. I don't know when, but it's going to kick off, and that's going to kick off a global, like, competition, global Bitcoin accumulation war, basically. But there are some that started already. We know El Salvador is the first country that started, kicks things off. You know, they've been buying 1 Bitcoin per day. But they decided to break that rule. They purchased 12 in 1 day. So they're ramping up. And they're getting up there. They're getting close to $1 billion worth of Bitcoin just from DCAing. They are a very small country. They can't be, you know, buying like the US. They can't be buying like China or anywhere else, right? They're a very small country, and in the past they're very dependent, and even today, they are dependent on IMF and the World Bank. But now more and more so, they're becoming less reliant. See, that's what Bitcoin does. It can even help countries break free of the chains, of the tyranny of the banks. It can do so for individuals. It could even do so for countries if you just believe and embrace. And that's what President Bukele has done for years now, and it's really starting to pay off. And if he continues to do so over the next 10, 20 years, whatever stockpile is like close to like 400 million, getting close to 500 million soon, I mean, that may turn out to be 50 billion, 500 billion. It's going to start adding up very, very quickly. Hong Kong is also pushing for a Bitcoin reserve, but you know mainland China is going to do so. Once US implements it, China is going to do it. Whether they announce it or not, or maybe they've been doing it already, because they have a lot of miners too. Maybe they're just siphoning a little bit off of their miners. You know they are doing it. And Russia, they're probably doing it already because of all the sanctions. And all the other countries are going to be doing it. South Korea, they're big into crypto. Okay? They're going to be doing it. For sure. Japan, they're huge in crypto. They're going to be doing it. All these top tier countries around the world will be buying Bitcoin and other things. Look at this. Finance industry chief says South Korean elders needs Bitcoin and Ethereum ETFs. Well, you could argue they should just buy Bitcoin and Ethereum, but, you know, the next best thing, ETFs, right? So, you know, everyone's thinking about it. Everyone wants a piece. The global race is on. Everyone wants to get their share. Even Canada, soon to be the 51st state. Bitdeer acquires the energy plan in Canada for $21.1 million. There's a lot of Bitcoin mining companies in Canada, and there's a lot of energy, cheap energy in Canada. So another reason for the US to acquire Canada as the 51st state for Bitcoin mining. I'm just kidding about that. I'm just kidding. But, you know, still interesting to think about. Yeah, but as for mining, the hash rate continues to go up. You could see it never seems to come down anymore. It just continues to go up. The miners do not want to give up either. They're the ones that powering the network, and every single Bitcoin they get, they pretty much keep. Because why would they sell it? Look at the difficulty, and the hash rate just keeps on going up. It's getting more and more difficult to mine a Bitcoin. It is not getting any cheaper. It's only getting more expensive. So the miners are basically holding what they have. So again, everyone wants to get their piece. There's not enough to go around. So do the math. 98,000, 99,000, 100,000 Bitcoin is only the beginning. Soon we will be at 200,000, 500,000 Bitcoin. There are people that think we will hit 500,000 Bitcoin by the end of this year. I don't know if I'm that aggressive. I'd say we still maybe 200, 250,000, but there are some people that think that once the Bitcoin reserve gets implemented and the other countries start FOMOing, 500,000 is definitely within the realm of this year. That's still 5x from here for Bitcoin. And if that's a 5x for Bitcoin, what about like Solana and XRP and Sui and Chainlink and Avalanche? They're going to be seeing at least a 10x, 15x, 20x. It's going to be absolutely insane what's coming up, just like what this is projecting. If we're moving the same way as the last cycle, we're more or less mimicking the 2017 cycle, because the 2021 cycle was a little bit off because of COVID, because of FTX, FBF. So it was a little bit off. But still, nevertheless, there are still a lot of similarities. We're moving the same way. We're consolidating the same way. And we're going to break out the same way too. Yeah, and you know, the accumulation is not just for Bitcoin. You know, there are firms that are just accumulating Solana too. And, you know, I said at the beginning, you may be surprised at what countries are or companies are accumulating. This one is very surprising. The UAE is tapping into Shiba. They will be using Shiba OS to streamline government services across energy, infrastructure, and public services. Out of all the blockchains they can be tapping into, they're tapping into Shiba Inu's layer 2. Wow. That's kind of crazy. That's kind of crazy. See, you just don't know sometimes. You just don't know. What else is there? Ondo. Ondo, really big in the US. RWA play. Launches tokenization platform for open on-chain access to US securities. Yeah. If you want to buy exposure to securities such as stocks, bonds, and ETFs, that's good. That's better than just treasury yield. Before it was just treasury yield. Now you could buy like stocks and bonds and ETF. Well, that's new. That's cool. That makes it a lot more useful. A lot more useful. And lastly, Metmask introduced a new feature that allows users to pay with gas fees. Finally, you know how annoying it is? Okay? When you try to send out crypto and then you don't have enough gas fees for it. Like if you get, you know, sent some meme coin or whatever, and you want to like send it out and then you're like, oh, you don't have enough ETH fee. It sucks, right? But this feature was already available in other wallets like Rabby. which in my opinion is a much better wallet. But this is very nice. Very nice indeed. All right. That's pretty much it. Looking at the US markets turning around. That's awesome. Things are mostly in the green. MicroStrategy, I think they're reporting tonight. Maybe the reason why Saylor didn't buy any more Bitcoin yesterday or Monday. A lot of people expecting him to buy more Bitcoin. He did not. It could be because of this. There's something big he wants to announce. He tweeted out some mysterious tweet. Maybe he bought more Bitcoin and he just didn't release it. Maybe he bought like a shitload and he didn't want to, you know, tweet it out first. Maybe he's going to announce that he's going to buy another 200,000 or he bought another 200,000. Something crazy. Who knows? Saylor rolls like that. All right, let's do some Q&A. Man, I saw yesterday when I showed my Spanish and Chinese channel, people were very, very impressed with my native Spanish and Mandarin speaking. If you guys haven't checked it out yet, you should, because it's amazing. Let's see. Have you heard of anything on the release of a XRP ETF for real? Darren, you just gotta wait, man. It's not gonna be that quick. You got to wait a little bit longer. I orange pilled my entire family with their other channels. Thank you. I appreciate that because I am trying to grow the other channels for real though. A bobcat got into my chicken coop. I'm wrecked. Oh man, that sucks. Morning. Do you have any thoughts on Shiba partnership with the UAE? I just covered that. I just think it's very strange. Out of all the partners or all the chains that could support, they went with Shiba's. Chit chat. Honestly, the best option is for Canada, US as a union, not state. Both would benefit. You know that I don't even know how a union works. Like the EU, like you just come to terms. Yeah, I don't know how that would work. You know, technically North America is kind of like a union already, right? Like Mexico and Canada and US work so closely together already on so many things. On trade at least. I don't know how a union I just don't know how that makes a difference. But you might be right about that. Are we going to test 85K? If we were going to do so, we would have done it already. We had some major catastrophic dips recently. The one in January was the 89K. The one we just had was the 91K. So I guess never say never, but it's not looking like it's going to happen. What's the possibility of an early alt season? Very little. Very little to none. Alts will continue to trend up, especially the ones that fit the narratives, right? Obviously, the American-based ones have benefited greatly since Trump's inauguration or election. But as a whole, altcoin season doesn't come until the tail end. It's always like that. But this time around, I think it may even be more delayed because Bitcoin's led by institutions this cycle, not retail investors. So where's the money coming from? Well, maybe the ETFs. Maybe the ETFs will lead the way. Well, then that means the ones that have ETFs will go up the most. For example, Solana will, XRP will, and others that get ETFs. Or memes blow up and the money flows from those memes into other alts. So that's where I think the money's gonna come from. So it's not gonna be early. Jim Beam, what books do you recommend for investors? First of all, who reads these days? Second of all, I've never read a crypto book in my life. Third of all, just everything's online. Google and AI. That's all you need. Chad, thank you. Will I make a meme coin soon on Pump Fun? No. I will make a meme coin, but it won't be going on Pump.fun. What's your opinion about a new GTA? It'll never come out, man. GTA 6 will never come out. And honestly, I don't even care about it. But it's the running joke that it'll never come out. ADA about to rally. Look at the chart. ADA is pretty strong today. Is about to crack through this resistance again. Or is trying to. Cock has a merchandise store. Yeah. They have a sports betting, and now they have an AI agent. I don't agree with all the things. Like, I feel like everyone just came out with the AI agent for no reason, you know. I could come out with the AI agent. We needed more momentum today. Look at this. SEC outs top litigator who battled with crypto giants. They reassign their top litigator to their IT department. So basically, they wanted to fire him, but they probably couldn't. So they're like, okay, your new assignment is go do this, go fix computers in IT. So, I just covered the story about how, FCC scales back their anti-crypto unit. This is one of the effects. See, this is why it's awesome. This is why you guys all need to follow my X, because it's awesome. It's like all the latest breaking news, things that I can't even cover on stream because it's so new and during the day. That's why you guys need to follow my X. It's like the best. It's the best account to follow. Like, if you care about Bitcoin, you care about general crypto stuff, like ARK right here, predicting Bitcoin is still going to go to 1.5 million by 2030 as a bull case. And Sailor tweeting out, there's a big day today because of this, his earnings. Yeah, you guys need to follow it. XRP omitted from Hong Kong's FCF list and went offline yesterday. Still good to buy. Thoughts? Yes, man. Yes. Things go offline, okay? Sol's been offline before and is doing just fine. Stop panicking. And I don't really care if it's on Hong Kong's FC list. Robin, thank you. Brian, Cynthia tweeted out, have patience. Yes. Like most people in crypto, they just need to have patience. A lot of it. What do you think Dogecoin could do? I don't know. Doge is not that far off from its high. to be honest. It's 26 cents. Well, maybe 70 cents is high. It'll get back at least there. Can it double from there? Get to like $1.50, $1.40, something like that? Probably. You know, I could probably get to like $1.50, maybe even $2. Depends on how high we go in this cycle. How likely do you see a drop to 65K on BTC? What? Why would you even ask that question? The likelihood is less than 1%. It's less than 0.1%. Like, what's the point of asking that? I don't even get the point. It's like, you might as well ask me, what's the likelihood that, you know, Mexico invades the US? What's the likelihood that Canada is going to win a war against the US? What's your thoughts on Edge Matrix chain on ARB? Never even heard of it. Haven't heard of it. Mark Santos says, bro, if it drops to 65K, I'm putting my entire net worth and dogs on it. I mean, I would too, but it's like, it's fantasy. Fantasy thinking. I'm curious, will there be a super cycle? Well, I'm curious about that too. But if there was a chance for a super cycle, this would be the best cycle for that. If the US implements a Bitcoin strategic reserve and causes FOMO among countries, you know, I just don't see any of these countries selling off by the end of this year. The reason why we have these 4-year cycles is just like all predestined. People see Bitcoin get to a top and they're like, okay, it's at end of the cycle, end of the year, I got to sell off. And everyone sells off. It dumps 85%, 88%. And then we start over. And then retail doesn't come back in and buy until like 2 years later. It's always like that. Rinse and repeat. It's almost predestined. Like people just follow what has been. But this is the only cycle where it's been different because it's not retail leading the way. It's the institutions. It's the guys like Saylor that's been buying billions and billions, and ETFs that's been buying billions upon billions. And soon, if we have countries that are buying billions upon billions, it's just different. The scenario is different. And do you think Saylor's going to be dumping his, 400,000 Bitcoin by the end of this year? No. Are suddenly every ETF going to dump, all their Bitcoin because every investor's go dump their Bitcoin at the end of the year? I don't think so. So, I mean, if that's going to be the case, then will Bitcoin drop 80%? After this year, then probably not. And if that's the case, then we will have a super cycle, right? Can we still have more dips? Sure. Can we have like another 20% dip? Sure. But will we have an extended 80% dip across 2 years? I don't know. It's looking more and more like that won't happen, but maybe it still does. But I think the likelihood of that is becoming less and less with every single day. Man, we were just doing good, I was saying. We just broke above 99. Now we're going in the opposite direction. Yeah, Wall Street's dumping. You know, it kind of sucks. There's too much. You know, you got to take the good with the bad. Or you got to take the bad with the good, I guess, right? When Wall Street gets fearful and whatever, like, whenever they're like, okay, it's time for us to sell, you know, Bitcoin follows with it. Like, you know, it's unfortunate that there's too much coupling with Wall Street. It's like so obvious. Like, why did all of a sudden we just drop down 1,000 points for Bitcoin? You look at our US market, oh, because everything started turning red. It's like, why are these idiots on Wall Street, why do they keep treating Bitcoin like it's a tech stock? It's not. It's not a tech stock. And I keep proving this point. People that sell off ETFs end up buying it back at a higher price. Why do these fund managers keep on playing these games where they're trying to outsmart themselves and trying to, like, you know, trade Bitcoin? You could trade anything else. Trying to, like, trade Bitcoin usually ends up at a loss. Like, you just hold on to Bitcoin. So the frustrating thing about Wall Street is, yeah, I mean, they're so reactionary. You know, whenever, like, something happens, it just, like, dumps down. But then again, you gotta take the bad with the good, because sometimes the opposite happens, right? Something good happens, Wall Street pumps, and then Bitcoin pumps with it. So because then they start loading up on Bitcoin too. So I mean, you gotta take the bad with the good, or the good with the bad. You know, so I mean, I guess you can't complain about it, but it is frustrating sometimes, right? Right now, the market's kind of like shaky. That's why, you know, we're seeing what we're seeing. I think it's gonna still turn around today. Got a triple PhD in patience by now. I got the funniest dad joke that I've ever heard. You guys want to hear it? I think it's hilarious, and it's like, it's for tech geeks too. So I think you guys will enjoy it. Thoughts on price action if Gaza is taken? Don't have to action. I have no idea. I know Trump wants to do it. I have no idea how that's going to affect things. How does the joke go? What do you call... Oh, no. What? Wait, what? What is it called? Wait, how does this joke go? Man, I forgot what it was. Shoot. Okay, it's something like, What do you call someone that's getting slapped at high frequency? What do you call someone that's getting slapped at high frequency? It mega hurt. Oh, that's funny. It's so corny, but it's so funny. Oh, man. All right. On that note, we'll end it. All right, guys. Have a good one, guys. I'll see you guys tonight. It'll be DCA day. And we'll have a good old time once again. All right? Have a good one. Take care.